What is up, y'all? I'm going to be taking you guys through my 2026 wedding setup, or my DJ setup in general. I'm going to pretty much use this everywhere. I've already been using it for the last month or so, but I thought I'd show you guys exactly what I have, what I'm using, and why I'm using it. So check it out. So this is it right here. So starring in the center of everything is going to be the Modern Console Neo 4.0, I think is what it is. And I have modified it a little bit. So this is not how it comes with the laptop stands and stuff. It does not come like that. But I modified it, and I'll show you why in just a moment. The TV also that is there, that's a 32-inch Samsung TV. It's a lot more expensive. They include a $100 TCL TV, and it is thicker. So I use this TV. Not only is it better TV because the media file player that's in it is way better, but it also is thinner. So it gave me about an inch and a half, inch and 7/8 more space in the back. But I'm going to be rocking the QSC KC12s for this season, the majority of. I do still own the RCF NXL14As and sub 15AXs. I will use those for some of my bigger weddings and that sort of thing, but anything 150 people or less, most likely I'm going to bring these out just for convenience. And you might see some gig logs already that have those. For lighting this year, so right now, and this may change, but right now I have the Ape Labs Neon Pix tubes and the Marvel spots. And then I'm using a gravity stand with the long distance poles because those have a M10 bolt on the top where I can just screw those in. But all battery powered, all wireless, and pretty effective overall. And then I've got some uplights in the back. And you might have seen a video on those. I have the new, to me, both lighting S4 minis with the warm white bulb upgrade. So these are the first in the world of those uplights that have the warm white bulbs. So I'll be rocking those this year. And then in the back, on occasion, I do a fair amount of EDM couple events. So I have a laser back there. I'm going to be getting a couple of new ones for that. So I may be redoing the light show, but this is pretty much what I'm going to, what I've been rocking, and what I will rock some variation of this for the year. The console's staying for sure, and then of course the speakers and all that. But I'm also using, and I'll take you back here as well, I'm using a Pioneer or AlphaTheta XDJ-AZ. So I was using the XDJ-AZ for a long time, and I bought that in 2020 and finally upgraded to the AZ when I got this console built. And the reason why is because my roots in DJing are in raves and nightclubs, where for the first 7-8 years I was DJing, I only used USB sticks. So I'm just comfortable on this. I love having this here. This is also great backup. So for my weddings, what I do is I run all of my formalities off of my USB sticks, so I can have my computer screen showing the timeline and any announcements I need to make. And then when I go to open dancing, I'll switch to the computer so I can use stems and all that. But I still enjoy using USB sticks, and then I'm using the power output on the other side to power this up right now. Also, if you have not DJ'd at a club or a rave or anything where you're using CDJs, then you're probably not used to this. But I'm used to this feel, the size of the jog wheels, the effects platter, and all that. That's just what I did for the first 7-8 years of DJing. So that's why I have this. It is tremendously heavy and it is bulky and all that, but it's badass and I love it. So going down beneath, I did pull the trigger on the Allen & Heath CQ18T, and so far this thing has been rad. It's just I'm still getting used to it. I will tell you that the sub 15AX and NXL14 combos, it sounded much better when I was using this with it. And my assistant actually commented on that too. He's like, yeah, this sounds way better. Just like not as harsh on the highs. So once I dial it in, and that was just running it flat, but we'll see if how true that holds. But so far I've been loving this. I've got it pretty much set to just 2 mic inputs and one stereo out, and then I have a couple of these outs that are ready to go. And then I'm running the Shure SLXD. I haven't got the new system yet, but I'm sure I will. The SLXD4, 2 mics there. I've got a little shelf right here for whatever. Right now I got the paintbrush on there, which keeps all the dust. If you don't got one of these, get one. It's good for dust. And then this is a little drawer or sliding shelf or whatever. But this stuff wouldn't have fit if I had the old TV in there. So that's what the deal is there. And then I have a 2U rack drawer, keep some stuff in there. I'm using an Art power conditioner. I guess I can get rid of that probably. There you go. And that has a plug on the front and then a bunch of plugs on the back. They're all being used, and got USB ports there, and I have the little lights right here, so that's cool. And then I have a little punch out down the bottom for XLRs coming from up here. And then these two I haven't hooked up yet, but they'll be like for a videographer and an auxiliary out there. And then I have under here, and I want to clean this up some, but whatever, it's fine. I have this being just hanging down so I can plug in the power to my speakers there. So easy to get to. I don't have to go to the back or do anything crazy there. And then I'm using a combo cable from, I think it's Accu Cable, American Audio or something like that. But so that's the setup up here, the lighting. Got the WMX1, and I'm using the Ape Labs Connect. You really need that in order to do DMX. So I may change all the Ape Labs stuff just so I can get out of the ecosystem and just have all the Chinese Donner lights, because this works fine. So we'll see how that goes. I'm thinking about the JMAZ T5 and the PAR Rubix and doing some things with that, but we'll see. But yeah, so that's the lighting. So yeah, these stands, let's talk about that. So typically the modern console, if you look it up, they have a plexiglass cover that slides in this little slot right here. And the problem with that is when they designed this, I don't think they actually like put a mock-up of one of these in there, but that plexiglass cover comes out to about here, and it covers the screen. And so I'd have to duck down and like look and stuff. And while it looks cool, it just wasn't practical. And I love being exposed to the crowd. And again, if you've never DJed at a rave, it's just different when you're open in front of everybody. So I don't like having my laptop covering me. But I do like the laptop, so it's staying. So anyway, so I actually had a buddy cut some holes here and here, and I found these poles from Amazon that clamp from the bottom, so they just screw in and clamp in. And then I'm going to try and work on a way that they can stay there, and then I can just screw these on from there, but we'll see how that goes. But that holds the laptop in place, and then this gives me another laptop stand over here so I can have this area as my lighting workstation and all that. So that's working out pretty good so far. So, and then this does have a little headphone hook right here. My microphones, I just lay them down here on that right there. I might do something with a microphone holder or something like that, but I think I might put a cup holder there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So this thing comes apart in 3 pieces. I think I have a video that's going to be coming out of me unboxing this and putting it all together and then tearing it apart and showing you how it all comes together. It is kind of a pain in the ass because this does not live inside there. I have to unwire everything, but like anything else, once you get used to it, you get it down pretty solid. So that's the setup. And then there's the up lights. Yeah, gravity stands for everything. No tripods. We don't do tripods that much. Obviously, if there's some instances where you need them because they're unstable ground or whatever, but there it is. There's the setup. I've got visuals playing there, and this is really cool. It does, originally I was thinking about not having the TV there, but, Al from Modern Console, he was like, convinced me to do it, and I'm glad I did. Even though I ended up putting a different TV in here, I'm glad I did that because I've got some really cool footage from some of the weddings that I've done already where here you can see this. Like this is from wedding I just did the other day last week. And what's cool with the Samsung TV is you can actually, it has a rotate feature for a static thing. So that's like a huge deal. And the media player just plays all the files. Like anything that is Roku or Fire Stick sucks ass. So don't buy one of those. But that's cool. And then when we're doing we do all the wedding shows down here in San Diego and in Orange County, being able to play, highlight reels and stuff like that is just super clutch. And I'm sure there's some things down the road that I'll try and figure out how to do. I just found software that does visuals to the music, so I can put that in there. But that's a wedding that I did last year, and having that to show couples and stuff like that during these trade shows is just super clutch for it. So that's it. That's the rig for this year. So I'm going to be doing a video soon. If not, I may already be out before this one. I don't know. But what I was using before I invested in the Modern Console, which was the Rockville XL booth, but with custom panels on it. I did that for a number of years. I still have that because there are instances where I need that. And it's a real easy, inexpensive way to elevate the look of your booth without spending the money on this. I can tell you right now that this whole thing is $2,500, and he let me pick the wood grain stain, so I picked that wood grain stain there. But the console itself is $2,500. Then the bags are $700 for the bags, and they are nice. They're really good bags. And then all of the little stuff that you got to get, for it. There's like little wire sticky holders, building out the rack and stuff. I mean, obviously, then this thing here, I got a little bit of a deal on it, but I still paid about $3,600 with tax and a warranty on it for 2 years. Anything happens to it, I'm good. $1,100 for the Allen and Heath. I already had the mics, and the power conditioner was $300, and then the drawer and the shelf and the other piece is another $200 and all that, maybe $300 and all that. So, I mean, all said and done with this console, these were $60 a piece for the laptop stands. I mean, you're talking 10 grand in there, easy. 36, yeah, something like that. You're probably 8 to 9 grand before we start talking about the computer and the woof mix and all that. Oh yeah, the TV was $400, so I got that on sale, but still $400 for the TV. So not everybody's going to do this, I know, but I do weddings full time. I do around 70 to 80 weddings a year. So making the investment for this system was worth it for me. So if you're thinking about leveling up your setup, it does matter. You do get compliments on it. I mean, I get compliments on every time I show up, people trip out on it. And also, your planners and stuff will put you front and center, just without you having to ask, because it looks nice and it has the monogram and all that stuff. So anyway, there's the layout, one take. So I'm trying to do more videos with just one take of what we're doing. KC12s, definitely recommend these if you are thinking about a column array speaker and not going with the 15s. Because I have 15s, I've got that. But for enough bass, these sound really good. They cover really well. They're easy to operate, easy to maneuver, and the bass is good. It's not it's not gonna knock you over or anything, but it's gonna fill the space. Be plenty for most events. that you do. When you get anything over 150 people, I'd probably bust out some point sources and that sort of thing. So, and I've had the RCF Evox 12s. I've had the JBL PRX1s. I still have actually my partner just got them. I've had the Maui 44 G2s. I think the Maui 44 G2s, if I were doing a column speaker again and I wanted something, you know, that was, I do miss those. I think that's probably like the got the most bass and the most robust, but honestly, these are plenty, and the sub 15 AXs and the XL14 combos annihilates all of that. So that's what I went to. But anyway, there it is right there. 2026. Follow me for more tips. All right, see you on the next one. Later.